Hello, how are you guys doing today? My name is Anima and today we've got a special video, something a little bit different. I'd like you all to know that I have joined a league, two leagues actually, but we're only going to be talking about one of them. This league is the Battle Union and it is headed by Freedomion and Scissor Sum. I will put a link to the league's main channel in the description down below. It's going to be super fun! Basically, it's like a GBA style format. You know the drill. We draft Pokemon. Not everybody can use the same Pokemon, of course. You can trade pokes, but I'm not completely 100% on the details of that. And you have like, yeah, you understand. So what makes this league a bit different is we drafted Pokemon on a points-based system, so Pokemon were worth different points. For example, like Greninja is worth 150 points, and like Ferrothorn is worth 120 points. Now, we'd use these over the course of 9 rounds of Mega and 3 benched Pokemon to make up a total of 1400 points or under. So you couldn't go over, so you couldn't just draft super powerful Pokemon, etc. And you had to draft a bunch of Pokemon that kept within a certain, you know, bunch and stuff and things. But yeah, no. Now let's get on to my draft, the Pokemon that I chose, and the reasons why. Let me preface this by saying, basically, I've joined 2 leagues very recently, and the only league experience I have is in the Lithio League. And that's more like the Lithio Gym Challenge. It's not really like a league where you not like the same kind of style. It's like anyone can use whatever they want basically. So 2 people can have Arcanine, but in this instance, no, 2 people can't have Arcanine. There'd be too many Arcanines. Woof woof woof. You can't do that. Okay. And yeah, so I'm happy with my draft, but I think that if I join another league in future, I'm going to think about it a bit more, I think. But anyway, moving on. The first pick that I made, so yeah, the Golden State Dragons first pick. That's my team name. It's really rad. It's like the Golden State Warriors, but dragons, because dragons are cool. The first pick I made was Greninja. Now, before you all scowl and hover disdainfully over the dislike button, Greninja XY Greninja is allowed in this league, so you can't run Gunk Shot, you can't run the things that made it broken and sent to Ubers in the first place. You can only run XY's moveset, so Protean and the, you know, the standard XY Greninja things, before it was banned. So I picked Greninja, and the reason I picked Greninja, and the reason Greninja was my very first pick, is because of versatility and power. This thing can do whatever it bloody wants, and I love that. I respect that about him. He can do whoever and whatever he wants. He can run so many things. So we could, with Protean, because I'm going to run Torrent, right? Alright, yeah, with Protean we can have like Stab, Hydro Pump, Stab everything. I don't need to explain that to you. But we can just do so many things. So many. We can low kick, we can haze if we want to. Actually, I don't know if low kick is we can toxic spikes, we can spikes, we can taunt, we can do so many things. We can be physical or special, we can even U-turn. We're super fast as well, and just an all-round horrendous, horrifying threat that is kind of hard to prepare for unless you have like Chansey and Blissey, which not everybody will have in this league, of course. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It can always do a good chunk of damage, and if used properly, it can be super deadly. Pokemon that can outspeed it are few and far between, and they need to be, and some need to be scarfed in order to outspeed it, generally speaking, and that'll force them to be locked into a move, which is just fabulous. So yes, Greninja is a winner. I do love Greninja, and then we'll see the return of Slim Jim, the best Greninja ever, when this league kicks off. So we also drafted, our second draft is actually Hipouton, and I love me a bit of Hippo, you know what I mean? He's just a bulky, real, just horrifying beast. Let me pull him up on here, at Pokemon, Hipouton, there we go, yes. I love Hipouton. I think he's just so rad. He's got recoverability, he's got sheer bulk, he can phase, haze, you know what I mean. He can set up rocks, which is important, and he's got a good robust sort of moveset that I can appreciate. He can like do shit like Superpower, which is just like really fun, as well as weird stuff like Captivate and Confined and blah blah blah. And I like my weird stuff. He can even Sunny Day if I'm so inclined, which is super cool. And he has Yawn. He has lots and lots of utility. I super like him very much, and I've used Hipouton a lot to good effect. It's just a bulky monster. It's a bulky, bulky monster, and it can heal itself. And that is also something that I really value in this league format, because you're going to get some long-ass battles where people have prepared for you, they know you're coming, and you're going to need to be able to heal from that. And that's just like something that is important to me, you know what I'm saying? So, the third Pokemon that we picked is Starmie! And I love Starmie. I haven't used it much as I would really like, but Starmie is a really, really cool Pokemon. And another main reason I picked Starmie was because of versatility. So this thing, it can heal itself. It's got analytic hydro pumps, which I super enjoy. It can Psyshock, it can do all kinds of normal Starmie things, as well as do stuff like Pain Split and set up screens and T-Wave and Trick, and it's just mean. It can do all kinds of stuff. It can even set up Gravity, which is something I'm thinking about because that stuff is just weird. And it can just, it's just bizarre. It can do Whirlpool, so I can trap stuff. And when I did the Lithio, against the doubles Elite Four, what would you call them? Person? I don't know what the appropriate term would be. I used a Fire Spin binding band Arcanine, so that meant that the Fire Spin would do more damage per turn, and it was really cool, and no one ever saw it coming, so I'm kind of excited to use something like that. Plus, if you have like, say you do that, say you Whirlpool and you have Natural Cure, right? So you have Whirlpool, Natural Cure, Recover, Toxic, whatever, something weird, I don't know, something really janky. You can just trap something, Toxic it, wait for it to bleed out, and then just peace out. Say it wants to Toxic you back. I don't care, bitch. I've got Natural Cure, or it might even have something else to heal itself. I don't know. It might have Refresh. Might it have Refresh? I don't know. And it can spin. So that's really important as well, that we have a spinner. Because I don't like it when people hazard stack. It's really not fun. I can't deal with that bullshit. Next Pokemon is Bishop. Now, I love me a bit of Bishop. I haven't, again, another Pokemon that I haven't used that much, but I'm not really sure why I pick Pokemon that I haven't used very much. I think I just see them as like being versatile, and then I just go for them. Bishop isn't what I'd call a really, really versatile Pokemon, but he's very, very strong, and he has priority, and that's just so scary. He's got the strongest knockoff ever. He's got Sucker Punch. It's super, super cool. And Defiant, which is something that really drew me to him as well. Because with Defiant, we can get set up and then just be fine. So that's super, super cool. Really happy with it. We can low kick, we can do all kinds of stuff. Aerial Ace, Taunt, T-Wave. I love Pokemon that have T-Wave. Just a really, really, really cool Pokemon. We can even run Metal Burst. I'm like scrolling through his moves right now and just getting a bit moist, so putting my raging erection to one side. Yeah, it's just so good. He's just so good, and it's just a really, really awesome Pokemon, so yeah, everyone knows what Bishop does. Next Pokemon I picked is Aromatisse, and I liked this Pokemon. I like it. It's a big gay fish. I'm super into big gay fishes. Just look at me. I'm big and gay and fishy. I'm not really very big, so whatever. But Aromatisse is just one of these Pokemon that I needed to soak damage forever. This thing is like, it's just cheeky. It's got the best wishes ever. Ever! I don't mean well-meaning. I mean in terms of literal HP output with its wishes. And I really, really enjoyed that. I just needed this thing to be just a horrible monster and just drain people's souls. My Aromatisses are always called Despair or Disdain or some variation of that. And that's because that's what they spread. They can even run Healing Wish. Bam! Even Aqua Jet if I fancy making a fucking offensive Aromatisse. Yeah, okay, that's gonna... It could happen, it could happen. It could happen. It's this kind of format for these things. And it can knock off and it can do light screen and yeah. Next Pokemon on my list was Latios. And I mean, Latios, you're just a massive babe, quite frankly. Let's go and find Latios on here. Yep. This thing is really cool. Okay, it's just a cool Pokemon. It can defog, which is also something that I wanted, just in case someone wants to be like, oh, spin blocker, no, I have defog. It's super, super cool. And it has a lot of utility. It can do a lot of things. I mean, its attack isn't brilliant. It's like 90 compared to its this whopping 130 special attack, but it's like you can drop a Draco Meteor with that 130 special attack, and you can even Dragon Dance. And Latios can do a lot of things. It can run EQ, it's got Energy Ball, it's got like Memento, what the hell, it's got like Reflect, Recover, Roar, it has so many things, it's just full of utility. It even has Tailwind between you and me, and everyone else who'll watch this video, and ultimately people who want to battle me, who will be battling me in the league, and you're going to be watching this to try and get information about me, but I'll counter-team you to death. Anyway, so Latios is really, really cool. And I just really like it. It has so many things that it can do, and it's just like, ugh. Psycho Shift, man. I'm there. So Latios has recoverability. You can customize it to deal with specific teams. Like, Latios is commonly walled by crap like Hipouton and blah blah blah, but like, if you just run stuff to, like, if you know what you're going up against, you can customize your Latios to kind of deal with those things, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy about that indeed. So, I then drafted Aromatisse, and I really enjoy Aromatisse. Keep in mind, I can't just draft super powerful Pokemon one after the other, because the points-based system, you gotta worry about that. You gotta worry about meeting points. You can't like just do whatever the fuck you want. You've got to consider if your points go over or under. And I got Aromatisse because I needed a fairy. I needed somebody who could kind of heal bell aromatherapy type thing. Aromatisse can set up dual screens. It has a nice and robust moveset. It's super slow. It's super slow, but that's okay because it can also run Trick Room. It can do so many things that are all useful. That are all very, very useful. I recently ran a dual screens Aromatisse. It's actually a bit backwards because I'm doing this video after I've already had a battle, so it's like, it's a bit strange. But we have dual screens with Aromatisse. I ran a defensive dual screens light clay, and it was just like, this thing, it won't die. Are you serious? It won't die ever. Even steel type attacks, like stab steel, it'll be fine, so it's cool. Yeah. I really, really like it. It has a bunch of stuff it can do. Next Pokemon is Reuniclus, and from this point on it gets a bit funny, and I'm not completely 100% on these choices because this was me trying to accommodate points, like, and accommodate the tiering system that is inside this. Not just points, you have to have, like, every Pokemon is assigned a rank, and you have to have certain specific ranks in your draft, otherwise you're buggered and you can't do that, it's like illegal. So yes, ninjutsu aside, that's yeah, my next draft was Reuniclus, and I like this thing. It's strong. It's really strong. It's a very, very strong Pokemon. It has very, very nice special attack, it's got great bulk, and I drafted it because Reunicluses, in my experience, they don't die that easily. Not if you play them with like a little, you know, if you're engaging somebody with like, who is like a good player and has a Reuniclus, it's like so horrifying. And especially under Trick Room, Reuniclus is like one of the sweepers for Trick Room. It's like really, really scary. You can tell I'm sort of pondering a surprise Trick Room at some point. It doesn't matter me saying these things because you won't know who I'm going to try it on, so that's okay. We've got like all kinds of stuff you can do with the Reuniclus. It can even knock off, which is something I didn't actually know. And it can Calm Mind, Trick Room, Max Defense set is just mean in general. Knock off, who cares? I don't care. Reuniclus doesn't care. It's barely even born and it can still kick your ass. It's got like so many things. Acid armor, excuse me. So I drafted this guy because he's a threat and he can do a lot of cool stuff, and he's very good at a singular thing, which is being in Trick Room. So Pokemon that are specialized for some things are also really cool for this kind of situation. But yeah, Reuniclus. And the next Pokemon I drafted is Tangela. I actually drafted these guys in a slightly different order, but we had to change it around to conform to the rules of the situation. But Tangela is here, and I got Tangela because this was actually after we'd all drafted all of our things, and Tangela was still there, and I needed to fulfill a certain point criteria, but I thought, why not Tangela? Why not Tangela? Because I needed a good grass type, and this thing can eat up hits, okay? So its defense is 115. With Eviolite, that becomes like number 2 rude to mention on the internet. And it's got decent-ish speed, it's like 60, it's a regenerator Pokemon. to boot. It's got pretty decent special attack, all things considered, and it can do a bunch of annoying grass-type Pokemon things like Leech Seed and Seed Attack and Powder moves and Synthesis, and it doesn't even need that because it can regenerate and just many, many annoying things. So I do like it, and I needed a good bulky grass type, so there it is. I have like bulky things of each type, which is, you know, just pretty nice. Well, not necessarily each type, but you know, of certain types. It's good. Bulk is good. Now the next Pokemon, and this Pokemon is my Mega. I chose Mega Medicham. And the reason I chose Mega Medicham is because everything is 2-hit KO'd by it. Everything is 2-hit KO'd by High Jump Kick. I don't care! 2-hit KO your mum! I will. Medicham will. He will. He's that kind of guy. And it's a horrifying Pokemon. I always am afraid of Mega Medichams. And it can do a lot of stuff. As you can tell, I'm like repeating myself a lot with the it can do a bunch of things, but that's kind of the point of like a league, to customize your Pokemon to be able to take down certain things. So we can just start off with a Fake Out. We got the Fake Out Bullet Punch, which is Medicham's like priority situation. High Jump Kick, nothing more needs to be said. A pure power High Jump Kick is one of the deadliest moves ever. Honestly, it's like super deadly. Not many things can really survive it that don't have good defensive investment, that kind of thing. We've got Drain Punch, so we've got Stab recoverability as well, which can also not only be relied on to kill things, but to heal ourselves as well, which is just brilliant. We can do all kinds of business. We can do Substitute Bulk Up, we can do Calm Mind if we really want to, though I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do that. I don't bloody know, but we can even counter. What the hell? We can do all kinds of business with this thing. Medicham can have all the punches, but to be honest, like, it's so powerful that it doesn't need all that coverage. It's very bizarre. It's just one of those Pokemon that can just steamroll through teams if left unguarded or protected by its teammates. And yeah, I think he's gonna be a wonderful MVP for this team, and I'm super happy with Mega Medicham as my decision. I mean, I picked straight away, and I was one of the last people to pick my Mega, actually. Second to last to pick the Mega. So there were very scary Megas going around, so I was actually super shocked that I got to pick Medicham. Medicham was the one I kind of had my eyes on, so I'm really happy to have been able to pick that, because nobody has switch-ins for it. And next we have the 3 bench Pokemon, and that is Furfrou, Quillfish, and Heliolisk! Heliolisk was actually part of the main rounds that I drafted, but to meet the requirements of the league, I had to bench it. Furfrou is just like savage. Fur coat, don't care. 1 weakness, fighting is fine. Got lots of psychic types as well, so having a nice little, you know, that support Furfrou very nicely. Furfrou has access to so many things, it's rude. It has so much, like, crap it can do. It's decently fast as well. Partnered with Aromatisse, it can rest and then aromatherapy and wake that shit up and bark at people some more. You can cut its hair, one of the main selling points. It's a very cool Pokemon. It has access to Sucker Punch, it's got Retaliate, Return, and yeah, those are very strong moves indeed. I really like it. It's a cool Pokemon that I don't use enough of. And it's shiny as black! Wow. And you can give it like a little hat and everything and make it look like a pharaoh. What Pokemon can you make look like a pharaoh that don't already look like a pharaoh? Brilliant. Quillfish, because of Intimidate and Hazard Master, basically. We can set up hazards all over the place. We can Destiny Bond. We can do all kinds of terrible Quillfish things. So I'm very happy with Quillfish, even though my water presence is pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible. Let me address concerns at the end. Okay. We have Heliolisk as well. Of course, we have Heliolisk, and to tell you the complete truth, because Heliolisk has moved to UU instead of being like an RU, it's across the leagues I'm in, its points or its ranking have gone up, so it actually costs me quite a bit to use Heliolisk, and I hope I can really put him to good use, because I love Heliolisk. He's the mascot, he's beautiful, and he's very, very competent. He's got access to tons and tons of coverage. Of course, he's an electric type Pokemon that can surf. Rad. He can Focus Blast, obviously Volt Switch initiative is very nice. Hyper Voice pretty much hits everything. When you're just not really sure what to do, I don't know, just fucking click Hyper Voice, it's like brilliant. and he's got dry skin and solar power as well if I fancy using these things. So yeah, I'm really happy with having Heliodisc. Now, with my team, one is concerned with, like, I don't know, there's like quite a lot of water types, but I also don't care. I've got like resistances and immunities, so I've got my Hipouton, I've got like Tangela and like Latios and stuff, so I've got resistances to electric attacks, and I don't know, I don't really fear them that much. One Pokemon that I fear is Rotom, but only one person has that, and that's okay. But other Pokemon can't really challenge me as much as Rotom can, so. And you can EV a Hipouton to be able to take Hidden Power Ices on the nose. I'm not worried about Hipouton getting countered in that way for being my like rock, as it were. And Latios, as I said, super customizable. We can make it bulky, we can make it D-Dance. Bulky D-Dance, rad. Many things can occur. Has recoverability. I'm not too worried about my electric situation. I'm really not. And the speedy electric Pokemon are like, kind of, you can just spot them and sort of prepare for them occasionally. I'm not going to go on too much about specific things, like specific threats that I'm thinking about, because I don't want to give too much away, because obviously we're talking about teams, you give away tons, you give away a bunch of thinking, but at the same time it doesn't really matter, because you can just kind of, they're not going to fucking know what your set is, so it's fine. Yeah, I like this, and I think if I could redraft again, I'd probably change up a few things. I think I'd change up a few things, but having used this team already, I know I shouldn't really be talking like this because this is supposed to come before. Having used this team, I am content with how customizable they are and how they can perform. They're very customizable. I would have liked stuff like Arcanine. I would have liked stuff like, who am I thinking of particularly? I wanted Scizor. I wanted Scizor and Arcanine. But they're like my dream team from like Lithio, so I'm like thinking about them and being like, feelings. So that's why I really want them. But I've got stuff that I really enjoy, like Hipouton. Hipouton's just not that easy to kill, apart from like with stab, like grass moves and stuff. But we have things that can deal with grass Pokemon easily, so I'm okay. I'm kind of okay. One thing I would also like is like a powerful fire type, but I'm pretty happy with them as is. I'm honestly really happy with how they are and how they performed. But other teams are really scary. They're really scary. Everyone's drafted very exceptionally, but I'm gonna have to lean on my counter teaming abilities to go with this, and I don't know, I think I can counter team pretty well. I think that's the main thing when it comes to doing a league. You have to be able to counter team, because what makes a Pokemon battle like a normal battle hard is just trying to guess what your opponent is doing and thinking, but a league situation is like, like if you know this and this are coming, you're gonna have to plan for this and this, and you can kind of stock Hidden Power Fire and everything, or Hidden Power blah blah, that kind of situation. But these guys are pretty good for doing everything. Yes, so if you're rooting for the Golden State Dragons, let me know in the comment section. Show your support towards the Battle Union. Use the hashtag Golden State Dragons in tweets if you want to do that kind of thing. I'm not gonna make you, because I'm not particularly amazing at being like, go and do that. But I would really appreciate it if you did, but don't feel like you have to or anything bizarre like that. Pretty exciting. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I kind of do, but I kind of don't, so yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy the battles as they come. They're pretty scary, and I prepare a lot for them, so it'll be a treat, I'm sure. Thank you once again. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye!